Well, too bad. The artist said you have to because he was getting greater for this. Today we are going to be analyzing and summarizing a work of fiction called The Outcasts of Poker Flat, written by Bret Harte. Not Brett Keane, like any of you will get that reference. The Outcasts of Poker Flat is a short story written by Bret Harte, and not the Manatee, who was renowned in the American West as an exceptional author and writer. It was originally published in 1869 in the magazine Overland Monthly, which was one of two short stories that brought Bret Harte attention to a national level. Francis Bret Harte, August 25th, 1836 to May 5th, 1902, was an American short story writer and poet, best remembered for his short fiction featuring miners, gamblers, and other romantic figures of the California Gold Rush. And according to his career, spanning more than 4 decades, he wrote poetry, fiction, plays, lectures, book reviews, editorials, and magazine sketches in addition to fiction. During the late 1860s, Harte's tales of the California Gold Rush elevated him to a position of national fame. For the remainder of his career, he utilized the West as a setting for his stones and the inspiration for his lectures on life in the gold mines. Americans throughout the country were fascinated by the expansion of the country, and tales of the Wild West became part of the national consciousness. At the time of their publications, Harte's stones were primarily an idealized version of an era that had recently passed. By the 1870s, the West was becoming more and more settled, and the vigilance of justice and the frontier days was fading, while the settlement of the West remained an important topic for books and magazines. Forrest Tucker stars as John Oakhurst in the recorded National Public Radio production. During the late November of 1850, in the town of Poker Flat, California, a vigilante community rounded up some undesirables and banished them from their own town. The undesirables are John Oakhurst, a gambler, Uncle Billy, a thief, and 2 women, Duchess, a prostitute, and Mother Shipton, her madame. The banished are told if they attempted to return to Poker Flat, they may be hanged. They have mounts, but no food. They decide their best move is to go to Sandy Bar, a small town over the Sierra Nevada mountains. The route to Sandy Bar is a long day's ride. They make it part way, but Duchess becomes exhausted and needs to rest. While they are deciding whether or not to make a camp, Tom Simpson and his girl Penny Woods arrive. The 2 young couple have run off together to be married. Earlier, Oakhurst had returned the money that Tom had lost in the poker game, making Tom a grateful friend. Tom and Penny have plenty of food to offer to share with the others. They find an old cabin and decide to live there and stay there for the night. It snows during the night, and they discover that Uncle Billy had stolen their mounts and deserted. They expect the snow will stop soon, and they will attempt to make it the rest of the way to Sandy Bar. The snow doesn't let up, food is low, and the wood for the fire is hard to find under the snow. Mother Shipton becomes ill, and Oakhurst discovers that she has been starving herself. Before she dies, she asked Oakhurst to take her stash of food and give it to Penny. The ground is too hard, and they have to bury Mother Shipton in a snowdrift. Oakhurst had made a crude pair of snowshoes, and he convinces Tom that his only chance of saving Penny is to go to Poker Flat for help. Tom reluctantly agrees. Oakhurst, promising to return soon, goes part of the way with Tom. Duchess and Penny return to the cabin and tend to the fire. When the roof of the cabin caves in, the 2 women huddle close together for warmth and go to sleep. When help arrives, the 2 women have frozen to death. They find the body of Oakhurst underneath the snow near a big pine tree. He has committed suicide. Well, that was depressing, just like most of the stories, with possible themes of prejudice and the ever-looming thought that life is ultimately futile, and that we are nothing more than just insignificant specks in an apathetic universe, and that everything we have and own will ultimately be meaningless within 5 years of our death. Anyway, time to give my thoughts on the actual story. Overall, I felt the story was rather solid from a storytelling perspective. Some parts felt like a little slow at times, but that's just me. And by me, I mean the artist who drew all of this within a 3-day span. The rest of the time was spent trying to figure out how to edit due to him being an impotent fool, but whatever. Most of the characters, like Uncle Bill, are as fleshed out as they can be in the story of this length, but I didn't really care for the Mother Shipton, even though she was the main character. Overall, I really liked the storytelling, but I couldn't help but make parallels other shows and anime that artist has seen. But that's probably because he has ADHD and the attention span of a sparrow. I am Shiny Chariot, and this is the artist's fault that my hands look like this. Also, you should follow his Tumblr and DeviantArt. Are you kidding me? No one has those anyways.